Okay, I am here with tonight's Monday Night Raw review for March 5th, 2012. They were in Boston this week, John Cena's hometown. And I have to say that this was an okay Raw, had a good match on it, had a title change on it, and it had some okay promos. I thought overall last week's Raw was a little bit better promo-wise, but this was still an okay Raw, so I'm going to get right down to it. Shawn Michaels comes out to open the show. Says he caused some trouble last time he was out there and he just wanted Triple H to accept the match, but something made him accept. Anyways, so it's all water under the bridge, and he's here to know why Triple H changed his mind. Triple H comes out. Shawn Michaels says that, last time I was here I took some cheap shots at you and put the friendship on the line, and was amazed that Triple H didn't budge. He calls him an oak. He says he didn't give in when he called Triple H a coward, and in his career no one has ever said anything like that to Triple H's face and gets away with it, but Shawn Michaels did, and that's why he's an oak. Something made him change his mind, and he has to know what it is, something that really humiliated and angered Triple H. So Shawn Michaels replays Undertaker saying that Shawn Michaels is better than Triple H, and Triple H comes back in the ring and accepts the match, and Triple H is watching this promo on the Titantron, and Shawn Michaels is just staring at him the whole time. He says, "That's all it took, huh? The worst thing that anybody could say to you is that Shawn was better." Triple H says it's got nothing to do with who's better. He's tired of listening to it, people saying that Shawn couldn't get the job done, he's a failure and couldn't do it because maybe he just wasn't as good as he thought he was. Triple H says it tears him up because he believes that Shawn Michaels is the best performer of all time, and it pains him to look at him as a loser. That's why he's going to finish it and end The Undertaker. He's going to end an era, and he's going to do what everyone says Taker or Michaels couldn't do. He's going to do it for Shawn. So Shawn Michaels, hearing all this, he starts to mock Triple H, and he says, oh, Triple H with his fancy suit, he's going to fix everything. He's got all the answers. And he says, last year it hurt me to tell you that you couldn't do it. You couldn't get the job done. And when I watched the match, you dominated The Undertaker, but you lost. And I was right. And he says, this year, I'll be right again. And Shawn Michaels gets ready to leave the ring, but then he comes back in and he says, the reason I know is because I'm going to be the special referee. So we finally get the stipulation of Shawn Michaels being added to the Hell in a Cell match as the special guest referee. I know a lot of people were speculating that would happen, and so it's finally confirmed, and I'm okay with that. I just hope, because I do want Undertaker to win and retire on, with the streak intact. Triple H doesn't need to beat the streak. He's already completely over. He gains nothing by beating the streak, and it would just be an ego boost. The only thing I hope doesn't happen here is that Triple H has The Undertaker beat, but Shawn Michaels gets mad and doesn't want Triple H to win, because then it makes Shawn Michaels look like he's worse than Triple H, so he super kicks Triple H and Taker gets the win that way. I want Taker to get a clean win, Shawn Michaels to call it down the middle, and that's how Taker should go out. He shouldn't get a victory only because Triple H had the match won, but Shawn Michaels interfered. So I just hope that doesn't happen. But anyway, we have Santino versus Jack Swagger for the U.S. title. Vicky comes out with Swagger and Dolph. Swagger didn't have his hair gelled up. He had some weird comb over going on here. But Laurinaitis and David Otunga come out. Teddy Long is the general manager of Raw this week. They didn't play into that at all. They did a little bit here in the beginning during this match, but that was it. They never mentioned Teddy Long as general manager. He never came back out during this Raw. I think this whole thing with him and Laurinaitis is mostly going to be a SmackDown angle, and it really showed here tonight. Eventually Teddy Long comes out, and he's got Kofi Kingston and Oksana with him. He gets in Laurinaitis' face, and Laurinaitis is telling him that this is his show. He gets on the apron, Teddy pulls him down, they get in each other's face. Referee's trying to break it up. Behind the ref's back, Dolph attacks Santino. Kofi tries to interfere. Dolph and Kofi fight a little bit. Santino hits the Cobra on Dolph. Vicky jumps on the apron. He's about to hit the Cobra on her, but she jumps down and starts fighting with Oksana. Swagger gets Santino in an ankle lock, and Santino eventually gets out of it, gets a roll-up on Swagger, and becomes the new United States champion. A lot of crazy stuff was going on during this match. Teddy grabs the mic and says, hold on, this is my show. Teddy says tonight it's my show, and he has security escort Laurinaitis and Otunga out of the building. Laurinaitis is saying, I'm going to get you, Teddy. And Santino, Teddy, Kofi, and Oksana all do the trombone dance in the ring. I hope Laurinaitis does the same thing to Teddy on SmackDown and has him escorted out of the building. Rock does the first of 3 Rock's history promos, where he goes to famous Boston landmarks and cuts promos on Cena. They were all really good. The first one was my favorite. He talks about the Boston Tea Party and how the people had enough, and like John Cena, it was thrown in their faces and they had to start a revolution. He starts the Rock Revolution tonight, and he starts to throw a bunch of Cena merchandise into the river. He throws a Cena clock, a Cena garden gnome, some Cena cologne, all types of crazy shit. And he throws it into the river. It was a very funny and good promo. I like this one a lot. Then we have Alicia Fox versus Eve. Kelly's on commentary talking about being on the Kids' Choice Awards. Alicia goes for a kick, and Eve sweeps the leg, gets a pin for the win. Zack Ryder comes out. He's got a cane like he's Dr. House. He's still limping on both legs. And he says he's glad that they didn't hook up, and it's broskies before hoskies. Yeah, that's all he says. Then backstage, Eve runs up and says, Zack, wait. And then she kisses him. And then he gets all happy again and says, oh my god. So yeah, Zack Ryder's in love with Eve again, even though she's in total heel mode. But of course he's the dumb babyface. So Cena cuts a promo in an empty arena. I thought this one was kind of boring. He says that Rock is the most successful superstar in WWE history and only came back when he found a worthy opponent in Cena. He says he wants to win at Mania. He needs the win. He talks about the Super Bowl, how the Patriots lost, that no one remembers second place. This is an event that will make history, the most successful event in WWE history, and no one will remember second place, and that's why he needs to win. He says this is his legacy, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime moment. And that was it. I thought this was kind of boring, and the only good thing I can say about it was at least he was serious here. But later on, when he comes out to do a promo with The Rock, he's acting goofy again. This guy just doesn't really get psychology in wrestling. So the next match is Punk and Sheamus versus Chris Jericho and Daniel Bryan with AJ. This was the best match on the show. Jericho and Punk start off, but Jericho eventually tags in Daniel Bryan once Punk starts to build up some momentum. Jericho goes for the Walls of Jericho on CM Punk, but Punk rolls him up, and Jericho reverses it into his roll-up, and Jericho gets the win. He goes and he picks up the WWE Championship, and he holds it up. Like I said, this was a good match. We're probably going to be seeing a lot of tag matches building up to WrestleMania. That way nobody looks bad by losing. You can't have the champion lose. You can't have the challenger get beat. So this way everybody looks good. So they're probably going to be doing a lot of these tag matches building up to Mania. And Jericho's the one chasing the title, so it makes sense that he gets the win here tonight. We have Rock talking about how if Cena was Paul Revere, then the U.S. would be under British rule. He starts talking about having a time machine, and it was just crazy, but it was good. The cameras, actually, at one point, The Rock says he's half Clydesdale, and he says something like, easy, big fella, and the camera actually focuses in on the statue, so you can't see what The Rock is doing. I thought that was kind of funny. He puts on a funny old hat, and he does a parody of Yankee Doodle. We have The Miz versus The Big Show. Cody Rhodes comes out. He shows another Big Show clip of WrestleMania 18 where the Big Show wasn't on the show, but he was eating at the WWE restaurant. Miz attacks Big Show from behind. He gets hit with the WMD for the win. So Big Show gets the win. Man, Jack Swagger and The Miz, they're in bad places right now. And WWE likes to do a little spring cleaning around this time every year, and they get rid of some guys, and I'm sure they're not going to get rid of these two. Possibly Swagger, but I don't think so. But I would still be nervous if I was these guys. I would definitely be nervous if I was Evan Bourne. But yeah, so Miz loses again. They do the last Rock video. He's talking about the Rock Revolution and overthrowing Cena, which the people have been waiting for years. He says Cena will fall to the Rock, and tonight he's going to look Cena in the eyes and tell the world what he thinks about Cena. We have R-Truth versus Kane. On the way to the ring, Truth cuts one of those promos in the little box during his entrance, and he says, Little Jimmy? Wait, who am I talking to? It was just horrible. Kane chokeslams Truth for the win, but Randy Orton's music hits. He comes out, Truth holds Kane's leg, and Randy Orton hits an RKO onto Kane. Then he grabs a mic and says it's good to be back, because Kane said welcome back to Orton last week on SmackDown. This was just putting angles over. Kane laid out Orton last week, and now Orton lays out Kane. Now they're even, and no one gets over. It's pointless to even do, but whatever. So they were just putting the angle over here. They're going to wrestle at WrestleMania, I'm sure of that. Cena comes out. He talks about The Rock making fun of him and talking about his penis being a Clydesdale and how many girls he slept with, and compares him to the situation from Jersey Shore. Says Rock's having a midlife crisis. Says he shook The Rock up on Monday and he was stuttering like the Rain Man. Says he wants to fight The Rock, not Dwayne Johnson. Rock comes out. Crowd at Cena's hometown actually chants Tooth Fairy at The Rock. Rock says that if you strip away all this Hollywood and Twitter, you get 6'4", 260 pounds, a man that will rip your throat out. At Cena's core, he will always be a little boy who will go down in history as Rock's bitch. The Rock leaves. Cena says that ripping his throat out is what he's going to have to do to beat him. He could lose everything, but he's not afraid, and he will make history. He makes fun of The Rock by riding 6'4", 260 pounds on his forearm and marker. And that's it. And then he celebrates with his family on the outside of the ring, his dad and his wife and brother-in-law. So that was it. That was Raw for this week. Like I said, it was okay. It had some good moments. It had a good match. The tag team match was good. Everything else was really just to further along some angles. But overall, it was an entertaining show. I prefer the promos of last week's a little bit better, but I like the tag match on this show. So I hope you guys like this review, and thanks for watching. Bye.